Hello everybody, welcome back. Who's ready to get rich? Me. In fact, it's already starting. So we've got the Jasmi trade is now really sort of burst out, sort of exploded. So we had a video on Jasmi like 5 days ago on request as well. So like I say, if you want me to look at certain charts, just let me know. But there was a nice pump signal that was generated around this 2.15 cent. And it's exploded. It's gone all the way up to the resistance, and now it's broken out from the resistance, and so this chart is pumping. And the next major level of resistance is all the way up here, 3.7 cents. Anyway, I'll leave that one with you there. I'm going to talk about Vchain again, because Vchain, as much as it's not the Jasmi chart, I can tell you that for now. It's definitely not the Jasmi chart. If we're thinking that Ethereum is breaking out, which it is, and the odd altcoin is responding to signals like Jasmi, for instance, which it is, then I would say that, to be fair, the total 2, total 3, and the Bitcoin dominance probably going to give us some clues that we're going to pump across the board. And look what we are getting now. Well, we've already got it, to be honest with you. It is in the bag from last week, but I'm going to get it in the bag again. Pump signal on the total 2's daily chart. So I'll be looking for this to pump all the way back up to its previous high over here. Not the all-time high, but the previous high, 1.282 trillion. So, yeah, 100 billion. It's not much, is it? It's tiny. What's 100 billion? I'm getting out of bed for 100 billion. But that's where it looks like it wants to do. And then after that, climb its way back up to like 1.4 trillion. So this is an uptrend in the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin. And with this ETF now for Ethereum, it probably is just a matter of time. I think it is just a matter of time before confidence comes back into the altcoin market. Which means that we've got the ability and the time to buy low. Right, to buy low. So when you're looking at these charts, something like Vchain, for instance, you might look at this and go, "Oh, well, Vchain, man." Look, there's a million charts out there, right? There's a million. I'm not saying that Vchain's the best one. I'm just making the video on it this morning. I'm going to make videos on individual altcoins, I think, from now on, because this is the setups. These are the setups that are going to provide us with the most amount of return. In my opinion, if the way that the market looks right now, I think it's asking us to buy low, even in charts which don't look particularly good. But for me, I'd rather buy the charts that look good. And this is a V-shaped recovery area. If it was going to happen, it should happen from this area. And the V-shaped recovery back up to its previous local high, it's in the 5 cent zone. Excuse me. Which I think is pretty good. So we've got a breakout of momentum, breakout of volume, breakout not of price action, not quite yet, but it's all likely to follow. And again, total 2, total 3. Ethereum basically saying that the time is nigh to start allocating positions into the coins that you really want in your portfolio. These trades might not necessarily yield immediately, right? These are what, especially in Vchain, for instance. For Vchain, these are the allocations that you put in now, which you could consider hodl, really. You could consider them a hodl, because this is a weekly golden cross. We've already come down to retest this area. I bought this. This is where I bought from 3.2 cents. I made a video about Vchain about a month ago, and I was saying, look, I'm watching this fall. I'm watching it come down. I'm going to buy it around this area. Bought it around that area. If we get another chance to retest it, and maybe perhaps even go a tiny bit lower to test that 200 exponential on the daily, I'll be up for that too. Now we've got a pump signal as well on the weekly that hasn't yet played. In fact, it's gone down about 20% since that kicked in. So yeah, we're down 18. Well, it's about 20% effectively since the Chiku span broke out of the cloud. This is a setup of all setups. I know probably you watch this and go, but it's not doing anything right now. That's the point. That is the point. This is what I'm always trying to get across to people. You buy when they don't do anything. You buy when the signals have been generated. You buy when the charts are inviting. You don't buy on the on the green candles. I know a lot of people already. I woke up this morning. Is it too late to buy Jasmi? Is it too late to buy Jasmi? Is it too late? Well, look, it depends on where you expect it to go to. But the setup that I spoke about 5 days ago has played out. So as far as that is concerned, then yeah, it's too late for that. You buy the signal. The signal played. What do you do now? You look for other charts. This is one of those charts. So we've got a pump signal on a weekly. We've got a golden cross on a weekly. We're more or less retesting it on the weekly. If you're going to get a V-shaped recovery, it's going to be from between 3 to 3.2 cents. Hopefully you get that opportunity to buy that. If you don't, no big deal. No big deal. The daily is also doing a very similar thing. It's coming down to a 200 exponential. Lots of moving averages sitting around this 3.5 cents now. So maybe we might not see lower. But if we do, it's still held up by the weekly. Like I say, golden cross and pump signal. These are the holy grails of technicals for me, at least. Anyway, I love those. That combination of those two things together, brilliant. On a weekly, really good. The 4 hourly is not offering much apart from this death cross retest, so the 4 hourly is still consolidating, which might give us a little bit lower. And if it does, then excellent, because again, you want to buy low in order to sell high. Now, Vchain is one of those charts, or one of those coins that's got a big community out there. And with that comes, I suppose, self-fulfilling prophecy of pump due to, I don't know, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people shilling it because they own it. I'll probably be one of those now since I've got it. But that's what the community is. It's basically free advertising. And I'll be looking for this to V-shape. So V-shape initially to roughly around 5 cents. That's a nice move on its own. But with a setup like this, this looks like the beginnings of a humble uptrend on a higher term time frame. So we're talking 16 and probably up towards in the mid-20s. This is a weekly, by the way, so don't expect this, by Tuesday evening. This is a weekly chart with a weekly setup telling us, okay, start the dollar cost average process now. This might be the last time we get to buy it low, and if it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We go back into an accumulation zone, which might feel a bit nasty if we go all the way back down to square one. There's no reason to suggest that we will come all the way down here. To be honest, there's more evidence to suggest that we get supported above 3 cents than we break down below here. We're basing a lot of our bias on individual altcoins, not so much on the chart setups like this one, again, golden cross pump signal, blah, 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 but on Ethereum and Ethereum's strength. And if Ethereum's going to remain strong and keep pumping up, which again, when you look at this chart, this is a down towards 200 exponential, V-shaped recovery, which it's done right now, and then you'll see if it breaks from there. You've got a pump signal on this one as well. Again, this one's fulfilling the pump signal. Then the health for Ethereum is the health for altcoins, largely speaking. We'll have a look at the dominance chart, which is coming down to a major support, 53.5% dominance, 200 exponential. If it breaks down below there, then you've got this area here, which is 51.8% dominance. If you break down below there, then that is it. That is it. Despite the good setup that this one has for good continuation. And again, you'll be looking for a bounce here initially. Then if you do lose this area, I would be looking for like an all season already. And that's not where I wanted it to start from. I'd like it to start from here or here, and it still could. But remember what happened when Bitcoin's ETF came out? Everybody was just buying. Oh, buy it, buy Bitcoin. Oh. That sort of thing is probably going to it's probably going to happen a little bit. So with that, you will see an indiscriminate amount of Ethereum being bought up by the ETFs, which should reduce the dominance anyway. So the dominance chart, as much as you can look at it to trade it, or use it to help you trade, allocate positions, it might be rendered not obsolete, but less useful if that sort of indiscriminate buying kicks in for Ethereum. And what have we got to go by? Well, what happened when gold had an ETF? Well, it just went up massively, didn't it? What happened when Bitcoin had an ETF? Well, it went up massively, didn't it? So is it going to go up massively? I don't know. Anecdotally, the evidence says it probably will. And so the dominance chart also should go down as well. So when the dominance chart starts to break down, then altcoins should, on the whole, rise. They should on the whole. And you'll be looking for the charts like this now to allocate from what I would consider to be respectable lows before we sort of lose the formation, really. Respectable lows where you think, all right, I'll allocate into this right now, because if we bounce, then we are talking big, massive moves. So, look, this is one of those videos you'll have to come back to maybe in a couple of months to see if it's actual, if it's really relevant. The Jasmi setup that I presented, that was a 12-hourly pump signal, which, it's going to take a few closures to start to fulfill. That was 5 days ago now since that pump signal, and now we've pumped, beyond the target. So when you present the same or a similar kind of setup on a weekly, again, you need a few closures really to determine the outcome. So rather than waiting a few 12-hourly candle body closures, you're waiting for several weekly candle body closures on this one. And we've certainly had a few already, and we're coming back down to a major support. So it might not be an immediate trade. This is why I'm saying this. This is closer to a hodl from a lower area than it would be any kind of trade. But a trade versus a hodl, or a trade meets a hodl, it's the same sort of thing. You're allocating from a respectable place on a chart, relatively low, in an environment which is showing signs of altcoin reversal. And this one, if it bounces from here, then you might have actually caught close to the low on it, really. Based on a weekly, so recognize that. So you're looking to double, triple, quadruple, maybe even quintuple. I don't know what you call the ones after that, but those are the sort of gains that you'd be looking to see if this one works. So we're bouncing from 3.2, which is where I bought it from. The first major resistance, 150%. Second major resistance, 390%. That's not bad. All the way up to 4, and possibly the candle body highs up here, 600, maybe 700%. That is decent, and this is what we wait for. So I'm not a big fanboy of any particular crypto because of their project or blah 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 blah, because I don't really know what I'm on about. But when it comes to charts and trading individual charts based on momentum, trend, supports, resistances, I like Vchain, all right? I like it, and I expect it to play. And the only thing that's going to ruin this or destroy this would be an overall consolidation in traditional markets, which will bring crypto down. That's something we've got to be thinking about. So it's not all Vchain. We've got to look at the S&P. Now, someone out there is going, what do you mean the S&P? I want to buy Vchain. I only want to hear about Vchain. It's only Vchain for me, just Vchain. But you do have to think about the trading environment as well. We all know this on this channel. If you're new to the channel, that's fine, but you always have to think about the trading environment. The trading environment currently for stocks shows a little bit of wariness. However, we have to accept this. It's still going on to new highs all the time. But if this starts to come down, then yeah, that's it for everything. So you just get out because the trading environment has changed. You also got to think about the dominance chart. We've gone through that, the total 2, which is all Ethereum based at the moment. And then obviously the Dixie. What's the Dixie up to? Well, the Dixie wants to hang around by this support again, 104.5. Again, you'd be looking for a bounce around there, but if you lose that area, then the Dixie's going down. It's going down to like 101, which is good for everything. So continuation across the board for everybody and everything going up. So the trading environment is particularly important to always look at while holding on to anything, because you can't just be blind to this. Think of an analogy, say, oh, yeah, the house is on fire, but I'm tired, I'm going to bed, I'm going to lay down on my Vchain mattress. No, don't go in the house, it's on fire. But it's such a comfortable mattress. Yeah, it won't be for long. It won't be for long. So think about it like that. This is a setup that presents itself in a way where a V-shaped recovery can take place from here, and it can go all the way up to where, well, basically the previous all-time high. But if the house starts to burn, with those Dixie flames and those those S&P flames, then you got to get out as well and wait for even lower prices, which again is only that's a blessing in disguise. But right now it looks good, and I'm not suggesting you do what I do, but I like it. It's one of many coins that I like, and I'll be making videos about all the coins that I'll be buying and have bought over the last couple of weeks, and I intend to buy if we go lower. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Let me know in the comments if there's any other charts that you think are particularly interesting. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel and the Patreon and the Telegram and the Instagram and the Bybit. and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take it easy.